Did you like the Rolex I sent? My mother asked, smiling across the table. The restaurant was full, laughter and clinking glasses around us, but her words cut through everything. I froze, looked around, confused. What Rolex? I asked. Her smile faltered, then vanished. The silence that followed was heavier than the wine glass in my hand. She turned, eyes narrowing, not at me, but at my wife. You didn't tell him? I saw it then, the flicker in my wife's face, the tightening jaw, her hand gripping the napkin too tightly. The table was suddenly a battlefield. I wasn't hungry anymore. I wasn't even breathing. Something had been given to me, something had been taken away. And in that instant, without fully knowing why, I knew the gift wasn't the watch. The gift was the lie. The night ended in fragments. My wife's excuses, quick and clumsy. It must have been stolen. Maybe the package never arrived. You know how deliveries are these days. I let her talk. I let her weave the rope. But I replayed the look in her eyes, the hesitation before every word. I knew the Rolex had arrived. I knew it had touched her hands. The question was where it went, or to whom. When betrayal enters a marriage, it doesn't kick down the door. It slips in quietly, wearing familiar skin. You don't hear it at first. You feel it, the coldness of a touch, the distance in a glance. This wasn't about a watch. This was about a trail, a gift redirected, a secret recipient. I went to bed that night next to her breath steady, her hand draped across me as if nothing had changed. But something had. The silence between us had grown teeth. I began small, a careful inventory. Receipts in her purse, strange charges, hotel bars, dinners in places we'd never been together. An Uber ride to an address I didn't recognize. Her phone was next. Locked, but not impenetrable. I'd watched her fingers long enough to know the pattern. Inside, the truth whispered. Hidden threads of conversations. A man's name tucked behind a fake contact. Messages full of heat and secrecy. And there it was, the Rolex, a picture, on his wrist. Captioned with her words, "Looks better on you." My stomach didn't drop. My pulse didn't race. Instead, I felt something colder, cleaner. I wasn't angry. Anger is noise. What I felt was silence. I ordered records, bank statements, call logs. I pieced her movements together like a detective with no badge, only motive. She thought she was careful. She thought I was blind. But blindness can be an advantage. They never see you watching when you act as though you can't. The proof came in waves. Phone records, hotel bookings under her maiden name, transactions split across accounts she thought I didn't know existed. And the picture that ended everything. Her in a hotel mirror, the Rolex on his wrist, his hand at her waist. I printed it, slipped it into an envelope, placed it on the table the next evening. She found it after dinner, her fingers trembling as she pulled the photograph free. Her face collapsed. Shock, fear, then pleading. "It's not what it looks like," she whispered. But it was. It always is. I didn't move, didn't shout. I simply said, "Tell me his name." Her silence was answer enough. The sound of her breath was louder than my voice, louder than the clock ticking in the kitchen. And in that silence, she finally understood that the collapse had already begun. The next day, I called her mother, calm, direct. I told her everything. Then I called mine, shared the photo, explained where the Rolex had gone. I didn't rage. I didn't curse. I let the truth do the work. By evening, the walls had closed in. Her mother stopped speaking to her. My mother looked at her with a mixture of disgust and pity. The man, the one with the Rolex, vanished as soon as the scandal reached his ears. She came to me, eyes swollen, voice raw. "Please," she begged, "we can fix this." I watched her cry, watched the weight crush her, and I said nothing. Sometimes silence is the sharpest blade. She left a week later. No bags of hers remained. No trace of her perfume lingered in the house. I sat at the table, the photograph still there. The watch gleamed on his wrist, her reflection blurred in the glass. It wasn't about the Rolex anymore. It was about the exchange, what she gave away, what she thought I'd never see. Betrayal doesn't just end love, it rewrites it. It teaches you that devotion can be counterfeit. And sometimes the people closest to you are only waiting for the right buyer. I didn't hate her. I didn't love her. I simply understood her. And understanding is colder than hate. Because hate can burn out. But understanding lasts forever.